think
He'd
that
go in
he
the
are
finals, dude. Let's just be honest.
comfortable with that.
Like, we have him and Butler back there. The dog's a freak. And Vasquez Jr.'s playing good ball. Hero's playing good ball. And you know what's going to happen. Duncan Robinson is going to fucking come in the playoffs and do what he's done the last couple and make shots. And he's not more. Last year in the playoffs, he was doing more than shooting threes. He was actually driving. He was actually putting layups in there. Eric Spoelstra is a genius. He knows what he's doing. He's fucking sitting there. He's fucking playing coy. He's playing camouflage out there. He's going to pounce. As soon as April comes, he's going to jump right on Boston. We have Milwaukee's number, and we have Boston's number. Bring them on, boys. Bring on the top 2 seeds. I don't give a shit. Like the shirt says, Boston sucks. And we're going to prove it.
All About the Balls podcast
With Mark Davis, Jake Winnikine, and Alan Tomasella. We are back with another episode of this great, beautiful show, All About the Balls podcast. I'm Mark Davis, and no, this is not your normal crew that you guys have grown accustomed to. It's not Luke Rule. It's not Christopher Gemeinhart. It's not even Nick the Doc Skirkwentz. No, because this is our basketball crew. Yes, we are still going to talk other sports. We're getting back to what the show name is, All About the Balls. We're going to start getting baseball, basketball, other balls involved, maybe even some puck from time to time. But that's Jake Winnikine. You guys have met him once before, and you know Alan Tomasella. He's been on a handful of times. He's both of these guys are great additions to the show. They are officially newest members of the All About the Balls podcast family. Jake, I'm going to start with you. Give us a little rundown of yourself, what you like, the teams you're rooting for, and just who you are.
Yep. As Mark said, I'm Jake Winnikine, born and raised in the Bay Area, so I'm a big 49ers, Golden State Warriors, San Francisco Giants. Definitely stick with the Bay teams. But yeah, excited to do this. Definitely ready to talk some basketball with you.
And you know Alan, he's a Patriots fan. You guys have already gotten accustomed to that. But Alan, give us a little rundown, first how you're doing tonight, and then also like just your NBA team, because we haven't talked NBA really since you've been on.
Hey, man, I'm fantastic tonight. It's a second night in a row, man. I really feel like we're really popping off on this. Shout out to the pod. Shout out to you, Mark. Shout out to everybody that's involved with it, man. I love the energy that we're getting with it, and I'm just excited to do this basketball, man. We've been talking about it for a while. Die-hard Lakers fan. I bleed purple and gold, bro. Like it's. Oh, let me take that back. Forum blue and gold, bro. That's what we bleed around here. And it started way back with Kobe. I'm not gonna go all the way back. I won't even. You know what? I won't even claim all of the Lakers championships from before then because I'm not even a fan of them. I'm a Kobe fan, and I've loved the Lakers ever since then, man. And it's just it's really good to have this podcast. What's crazy is, man, all three of us have indirectly known each other for, God, what, 12 years now?
No, since I've been in the military, because I met Mike in the military, and I think Mike got me to you, and then I got Jake in the chat. So it's been at least 2017, maybe 2018 timeframe. I don't know if we were around for the Super Bowl with the Falcons Patriots. It was around that time. It could have been either right before or right after. I just don't know.
We was definitely. I was dogging your ass. I was dogging your ass for that.
Way before.
So that was 27. So it must have been 20. So it was that season, in the 2016 season, going into the playoff run. It was around that time frame because I got to New Jersey in 2016 in the summer. So it had to be just right after that because I didn't meet Mike until maybe a couple months after, truthfully.
Oh.
But, hey, and you're supporting I know you don't watch Raw and wrestling, but you're supporting Diarrhea Dwayne, The Rock out there. That's Seth Rollins' new. Yeah, Diarrhea Dwayne. A little cheesy, but can't go a little too TV and mature there. But
I support The Rock in anything he does because he's a big supporter of the military, man. He's all in the exchange stores, man. He's all of his product is there. He puts it down at a lower price for us, and they have a great line, man. I can't stop buying his shit for going to the gym, and I live in the gym, bro. So
no, it's honestly though. I know before we talk basketball, it's great to see The Rock back in a little WWE aspect. I mean, great storytelling. What Triple H is doing with them, he's definitely making it awesome again. I know it's always been cool to me, but it's definitely cool to see it back. Great storytelling, but that's not what we're here. We're not here to talk wrestling. I know I could do that all day, but we're here to talk basketball. We're a little over a month away, boys, until the playoffs start. There's some teams out there that are looking really good. The Boston Celtics on an 11-game winning streak. You have teams like the Nuggets that are getting hot right now. The Lakers have been 7-3 in their last 10 games. The Warriors, surprisingly, are 7-3, but I know we're not as high on the Lakers. And then you have teams like the Cavaliers and the Knicks who are hanging around the East. And then the West Coast is very top heavy. 1 through 3, they're all with a couple games of each other. So with it being a little over a month away, let's just get our feet wet. It's our first show with basketball, mainly basketball. Who are some of the contenders that we should be really worried about, and who are some of the pretenders that we should just kind of, swat them away like a mosquito?
Yeah, man. I think that for me, and me and Jake are West Coast teams, so I think we probably look at that more heavily. But I just on the West Coast, man, I kind of see the top two teams in the West right now, the Timberwolves and the Thunder. I kind of feel like they've got a couple, maybe another year. I really feel like Ant Davis is gonna have to. They're gonna have to. He's gonna have to show he's that guy, and take over in a playoff series. And what I see in the play-in right now is some teams that I think can win in the 7-game series against these younger teams. I don't. Nobody wants to see the Nuggets. Nobody wants to see the Nuggets, right? But in the play-in right now, you've got teams that I think can win a 7-game series against younger guys, players that really don't know how to win those series.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you on the Timberwolves. I know they've been there a couple years. I know a couple years ago when Pat Bev cried like a little baby when they thought they won the finals, that little tournament, whatever. But I think the Timberwolves, they're just too big. Like they're pretty much dominant with their two centers, Gobert and Cat. Yes, you still have Ant Man out there, and he's balling. I just don't like it that they're too big. Like it's just they're not going to be able to get out to the fucking 3-point line and cover these guys, cover guys that are speedsters out there that can drive to the paint. Yeah, I know Gobert is one of the better defenders, and Cat's pretty good himself. I like the Thunder, though. I think the Thunder are a team that maybe can make a splash this year. Chet's playing good ball. Fucking their superstar out there, he's killing it. I like what they're doing. Chet is really impressed me in his first actual year. I know he's not a rookie in my opinion, but his first official year, he's balling, and I like it. And I think that Thunder can make a run. Maybe not like a playout, like a finals run, but I think they can get to the conference finals if they actually play good Thunder ball. They've been pretty good all year. I know they took a tough loss to the Lakers a couple days ago, but I like what the Thunder are cooking out there.
I mean, I agree with both you guys. Like, I see how you say Thunder advancing, but also, Alan's saying they're about a year away. I think they're a piece away. Like, they have Chet, yes, they got SGA, but they're young. I don't see it happening this year. And depending on who they line up with, like, right now, if it was Thunder and Kings, I'm taking Kings, honestly.
Yep.
And same with the Lakers. As much as I hate the Lakers, Lakers blow out the Thunder right now. I don't even think it would be a series. Just that they're immature, they're young, and Timberwolves. It depends who they match up with as well. That height can come in handy, but also if they play a young athletic team, it's game over. So I mean, I'm honestly not worried about Timberwolves. Not worried about the Thunder. Obviously, nobody wants to play the Nuggets. Jokic's on fire.
Clippers to me are. I'm not afraid of the Clippers. It's just because the Clippers are just
Clippers
more.
Are the Clippers.
That they somehow get hurt at the wrong time. Paul George has been hurt.
Man,
it's just.
And this is only if it ends this way right now, and there's a lot of separation from about the 4 seed down. So the Clippers are kind of locked in right there. I mean, there's some key games coming up, but I think when we look at right now, it would be the Clippers against the Pelicans. And I think the Pelicans are currently constructed to be a team that could make it a hard series for the Clippers. And the Pelicans got really good length. They've got guys that can make plays, and it would be something that the Clippers, if healthy, they can put that series away probably in 6. But one of those guys goes down, and just one of them goes down, and that series becomes a much tougher game, and you could end up seeing the Pelicans. I don't think the Pelicans make it after if they win that first round series. I don't think
Yeah.
Pelicans go any further than that. But
I mean, do you think the Clippers, or not the Clippers, do you think the Pelicans could maybe, if the Wolves or the Thunder are the 1 seed, and so let's say the Wolves or the Thunder get past the Lakers or whoever from the play or the play-in tournament, do you think that maybe they could upset the number 1 seed if they get past the Clippers?
who the Pelicans?
Yeah, I mean, with
I don't.
Brandon Ingram out there, Zion's playing good ball right now, and you still have CJ McCollum. I mean, could they
I don't.
maybe?
I don't think they can take out one of the top tier teams, um, because they themselves have shown that immaturity. I mean, we don't want to talk about the in season tournament. I mean, the Lakers, they won that in season tournament, but hey, what did we see from the Pelicans in that in season tournament? I mean, they just completely, in a game where they had to come out and just at least show us some playoff basketball. Man, they went out and just laid a freaking egg. They got mollywopped from the beginning of that game. It wasn't even close. And then the Lakers went on to win that in season tournament. And
I mean,
I
both
think that
teams are
that's
completely different, though. Too, Zion he looked a lot less out of shape then. He looks better. He looks more conditioned right now than he did back in the early stages of the season. So that's what I'm saying. The roles were reversed, in my opinion. The Pelicans have found. I'm not saying they're going to find something and go deep. I'm just saying they've found something where they've been consistently above average. And you play the right
yeah.
team, like you said. You play the Wolves get out of the first round. Can they take advantage of the Wolves? Both of them are
Yeah.
young.
Man, I don't know. I mean, the Lakers seem to have found a stride right now, so I don't know how I could say that the roles have been reversed there. I think Lakers went through a little bit of a lull. Guys go on shooting streaks and shooting slumps and all that. We had injuries that were taking us down, but the Lakers and the Warriors have been on a pretty good streak the last couple of months, and so I think that what you're seeing is these veteran teams just kind of it's a marathon, bro. It's a marathon.
Yeah.
They're just kind of
They're
taking
coasting.
a back seat,
Absolutely.
and you get into this in season. You get into the play-in, and look at since the play-in has been introduced. You've had a play-in team make it deep into the playoffs, and I think that you're seeing that happen because it allows players to really lock in early, before you get into the playoffs, and then that team's on a roll where you get a team that's maybe getting close to the playoffs. It's kind of that NFL thing where you bench a guy. You're not benching guys for multiple games before the playoffs start in the NBA, but
But the workload's a little more. It's kind of like it's like load management with Quad, but you're actually not
yeah,
playing as hard in the game.
exactly.
Yeah,
So then you kind of and basketball is such a flow. It's such about the flow of the game, and you got to be in that rhythm, and you start taking a back seat on some things, and then next thing you know you're in that slump, and you look like the Lakers did for about 2 months during the season. So, you know, it's interesting, man. But I just feel like I don't know if the Pelicans can bring that professionalism once they make it into the playoffs.
Yeah.
West the
I
West is just
agree.
tough.
Yeah, I mean, we know. I mean, Clippers just can't stay healthy, so I'm not. No one's. I mean, Russell Westbrook just broke his wrist, so he's out. But I don't know. The Lakers and Kings down there, definitely, I think they can make some noise in that down there. But like you said, like there's always a team that makes it far down. I mean, there's less pressure too. It's almost like being an 8 seed in the NFL. Everyone expects you to lose. You're coming from the play-in seed. No one's giving you a chance. So I mean, I love it. I think that's why these teams are going so much farther.
Yeah,
I mean, if the Suns can stay healthy, like I mean, we've only seen them a handful of games together with the top three or
With
Booker
three,
and with the three of them. But if they stay healthy, I mean, it's a small sample size, but can they maybe make a small run there too? I mean, Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, and Bradley Beal, if healthy, I mean, the problem is they don't have any depth. So if one goes,
yeah,
it's
their
that
whole money's in the
situation.
starting five.
Yeah, it
yeah,
really is. So can the Suns, if they stay healthy, can they make that run with Kevin Durant in them?
yeah. if the Suns are completely healthy and they go up against the Nuggets in the first round, I think that can be a really interesting series.
It'll be
Like
very fun.
completely healthy, I think it would be a good series. But I think teams are gonna. Man, it's so hard to say because the Nuggets are right there with the top three in that top three. I mean, they're all pretty much identical in standings 43-19, 42-19, 42-19. But I kind of feel like teams are going to want to try to dodge the Nuggets in the first round. Like, nobody
Some,
really wants to play them.
Phoenix plays Denver tonight too. I mean,
And
literally right after we get off the show, they're playing tonight. I mean,
yeah.
yeah.
So,
Yeah, and
so
if
who
Phoenix loses, then the Lakers are only what, one game out of the 6th seed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Lakers are right there to
It's
jump out of it too.
But I don't, and they're hoping that Denver does not get the. If they're going to get 6, they don't want. I don't think they want to see Denver until the conference finals. They don't.
Nobody does.
It seems like Denver spoils all LeBron's fun, and lately, like 40,000 points the other night, they lose. I mean, the Lakers can't win a game when LeBron reaches a milestone. For some reason, they just can't. But Denver has been that spoiler for the Lakers the last couple of years in like big moments, and I don't think he wants. They don't want to see them until it's like the LeBron did with Cleveland in Miami. He's going to pick a seed he wants, and he's going to try and stick around that and play the matchups. It's smart. I mean, it's very smart strategy.
I think LeBron enjoys the play-in tournament too. He's a guy who's always believed that playing in a tournament style, he excels in that because if it's a one game show, right? He believes ultimately that he can put on a performance in one game to win that thing, right? No matter what it is, and for the majority of his career, he's always been able to prove that if he needs a game, he can go out and get one, right? So I think he enjoys the play in, and if the play in keeps him away from the Nuggets in that first round, because let's be honest, the Nuggets are in the Lakers' head, but they're in everybody's head. I mean,
Everybody, yeah.
they're in everybody's
Yeah.
head. So,
I mean, jokers and everyone's. It's like, how do you like? He throws the ball behind his head,
Dude.
falling back, about to be on his back, and
He's unguardable.
it's
crazy.
it's unbelievable. So last year in the playoffs, in the conference finals, Anthony Davis is playing the best defense in the entire league. He's really propelled the Lakers to this stretch from after the trade deadline, and we just completely took off defensively, right? And we get into this conference finals, and nothing that Anthony Davis could do was able to shut or stop him or even get one stop. And to the point where this man's just falling down. He's just flipping around, turning around, and he's just throwing the ball up and it goes in. Swish, right?
and all he does is
net.
and all he does is shrug his shoulders. He's like, "Fuck,
And-
dude!" Like he's
No,
like,
no.
he's like, I don't know how I did either.
That. He did that shit the other night too. He did it the other night, and it was almost identical to what he did in the playoffs last year, where he's just like turning around and just tossing it up, and it goes right in. You can't guard against that. And I mean it's Jokic,
It's like
man.
it's like the
Trade-
finals. Like, I mean, Miami was trying. So Miami actually guarded him a couple good games, but then he facilitates the ball at a high level, and it's like, so we stop him shooting the ball pretty good, and then now we have to back off because now he's gonna fucking get assists. So it's like he's a double-edged sword because like you don't know what it's like. It's like LeBron, but he's a center.
He knows when to do it. Like when he played the Warriors about a week ago, he just facilitated the whole first half. Game was kind of close. Then he ends up with a 30-point triple-double at the end of the game. Second half, he just explodes.
And he's gassed too. And he's so tired he's tired by the end of the third quarter, and he still is giving all his. I just don't get it. It's that horse racing, dude. It's those buggies is out there. He's out there in his hometown.
But yeah, I mean, I really feel like right now the teams that in the Western Conference that I would have to call pretenders are the Wolves, the Thunder, the Pelicans, and the Kings.
And the Warriors.
Kings have been struggling too. Like the Kings have been up and down. So it's like, what Kings are you going to get? Like they're not consistent right now. So that's
I
their
gotta
issue.
I gotta tell you what. Warriors really good stretches lately. Bringing Clay off of the bench has really changed the dynamic. Yeah, they got mollywopped by the damn Celtics the other day, and it was just embarrassing. But I really do feel like Warriors can make it into the playoffs. I don't know if they go up against the Wolves or the Thunder in the first round. Like that's a game that I think maybe Steph can win that series, bro. Like, I don't
I mean,
know.
I wouldn't count them out, obviously. I mean, but the only thing is like, yeah, we've had a great stretch, but when you go look at it, like the 3, the 4, the 5 losses were against playoff teams. The rest of the
Yeah.
15 wins are 2 against the Pistons. Like it looks good on paper. Yes, Steve Kerr got Coach of the Month. It looks flashy. He got his big contract. But when we play a good team, like we get spanked. Like
But a
Yeah.
lot of
the
your
true
issues too is
Warriors comes out.
you guys can't close a lot of games too. Like you guys are
Oh,
like double
we blew a
digits,
fourth
10,
quarter.
15 point. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely,
Yeah.
over and over and over.
Like
And
you
I
guys
mean,
be like the 5 seed right now, maybe 4 if you guys weren't
we've blown so many
blowing
leads.
leads.
Absolutely, but I mean, no excuses. But we haven't had our starting lineup since November. Tomorrow will be the first game since November that the entire lineup is available.
Yeah.
But I mean, Chris Paul's not changed. Wiggins has his off the field issues again, or off the court issues. He's back now. He just was gone for a week. Same thing that happened last year before the playoffs. But the
So
entire roster is available tomorrow. So
contenders for the West Coast. Here's what I got. I got the Nuggets. I have the Clippers if they're healthy. Listen,
Yeah,
I think
asterisk. Yeah, I'll put an asterisk next to that name.
the
Yeah.
asterisk next to that, right? I got the Suns if they're healthy,
Yep, I can understand that one.
and yeah, I got the Lakers, bro. Like I know
No,
you guys are gonna hate.
I
on
know.
me,
I
bro.
respect the Lakers. I respect the Lakers because LeBron and Anthony Davis in the playoffs are going to ball out. That's not the issue. We know they're going to play hard.
absolutely,
Anthony Davis seems to show up in the playoffs. It's the rest of the team. It's what is Russell going to do? What is Reeves going to
Yeah.
do? What is this so-called deepest bench in the league, in fucking October going to do? That's the issue. So it's not Anthony Davis and LeBron James. It's the rest of the squad. That is the only problem we have with the Lakers.
absolutely. See, I'll give you your moment. I mean, since the All Star break, LeBron's 39-6. Like he's on fire. Anthony Davis is on fire. My issue is come playoff times, they're not going to be able to play 40 minutes every single night. Like it's going to catch up.
Well,
Like,
LeBron
that bench
will.
is rough. Yeah,
LeBron
but,
play-
AD's not. I mean,
he won't.
Let's be real. Like that bench is rough. That's my issue. But would I want to play the Lakers? Absolutely not right now. Like LeBron's completely on fire.
Yeah,
I
and like
think
you said, LeBron shows up like that. I mean, we've seen it. The Cavs and the Miami Heat days, we've seen him show out. That's just who he is, and he's going to put the performance of a lifetime in front of the cameras.
Yeah.
It's just what it's the rest of the Bulls are
I
gonna do.
really do. I really do think that Reeves does have the ability to step it up in the playoffs. We've seen it, and I think that he's going to step it up in the playoffs. But what I think really is going to matter is D'Lo seems to get into these bad stretches in the playoffs, and you've seen him get played off the court because he wasn't effective in big stretches in the playoffs last year. And I think that if we can get this D'Lo, the one that's playing right now, who's dropping 26, who's coming out and being aggressive with his shot, who's coming out and being effective with his shot, I think if we can get him going in a playoff series against anybody, I think it's a tough series for anybody, and that includes the Nuggets. I don't think that if we play the Nuggets this year in the playoffs and we get a good D'Lo in that series, I think that we can push that series to a 6 or 7 game series. Nuggets, I think, probably still win, but I do think we could push them.
Absolutely. I mean, D'Lo's the X factor. I mean, what was it last night? I mean, 4 straight threes. They're giving him heat checks. I mean, the dude was on fire.
Yeah.
Like that D'Lo, yes. But then there's that D'Lo that shows up and he's 2 for 13 and he's getting benched.
Yeah.
He looks like he's jacking up just horrible shots. Looks like what's his name from the Wizards, Warriors.
Jordan Poole.
Jordan Poole.
Yeah, you're from
Jordan Poole.
Like he looks like Jordan Poole just jacking up really bad shots.
Yeah.
But if that D'Lo that was just there shows up, absolutely dangerous.
Yeah, the big problem I think for him too is that when he's not effective offensively and he's not getting the ball, because he's not effective, then his defense sinks too. And so like right now you can effectively put him on the floor. He's going to give effort on the defensive end, but can he still bring that? But again, I think Austin Reeves shows up, and Rui has stepped up since we put him in the starting lineup. We're very good when Rui's in that starting lineup, and I think that we can really push some teams. But man, It's a tough stretch, man. The NBA is a marathon, and I was a little disappointed we didn't do anything really at the deadline. But now that I see where we're at and we're coming through, I think that the Lakers definitely have a good position, especially if we go into that play in. Um, I mean, right now, currently as it's constructed, is Kings, Mavericks, Lakers, Warriors, and I think the Lakers
Hmm.
could actually end up as the 7 seed in that, um, by winning those games and getting into that 7 seed.
I mean,
I
just in
agree with
the
you.
next week alone, Lakers can go all the way up to 6. Like,
Yeah,
there's a lot
You
of
said you
matchups.
guys you get, but they have a big home stand still. I mean, that's the we talked about that a couple nights ago. Like the Lakers have a big important stand. They've done pretty good so far. But I agree with you. I agree with you on the
10-game
most part
stretch.
with those contenders and pretenders. The only caveat is I'm going to flip the OKC to the contenders. I think they really are a contender. I think they have one of the MVP candidates there. I think he's going to play his heart out in the playoffs and give his team a chance to win every single night. But the rest of you, I agree with. I agree with the rest of the pretenders and the contenders. So my only issue is I have OKC as a contender
yeah,
for the West Coast.
I can see that, man. And it's hard to argue because they are so good. You watch them on the court, and they are a well coached team. They're disciplined, and even for a young team, they come out and they show aggression, and they show the ability to make key plays down the stretch. Obviously, Shea is just a phenom, and he
Oh,
just
man.
does amazing things, but they are a well coached team, and they do play good basketball, good defense, and Shet has come out
I'm
and
wrong about him. I was wrong about him.
done a
He's
lot of things that a lot of people weren't sure about, and
Hmm.
I think he's really proved a lot of people wrong. So that they do look good. I again,
he's
I'm
rookie of the
used
year.
to the past and some of the things and experiences that I've seen over the years. I just kind of feel like they've got one of those young teams that need to lose in the playoffs to really they need to lose in the playoffs as the favorite in order to understand what type of mentality, energy, preparation, and all of those different aspects that you have to bring in the NBA. You have to bring all of those things, and you have to lose in order to learn those.
Yeah, you learn more when you lose than you win. It's just the way it goes. East
And
Coast though, boys. Oh,
no, you're good.
no, I said the East. I think it's pretty simple. I think there's only two, maybe three teams in the East Coast that are contenders. I know we're not fans of Joe Mazzulla out there in Boston, but let's be honest. If this is the
Boston's
Celtics that we're
balling.
getting every single night, it's a dangerous team. And I was wrong because I called out Jules, my boy. We shot him out the other night. He's a diehard Celtics fan, and he told me just watch. I thought Milwaukee was going to be the 1 seed. It's flipped, but Boston's running away with this. They're about to be on a 12-game winning streak after tonight. After they hammer down Cleveland, they're beating the shit out of them right now, and they're the 3 seed in the East. The Cleveland Cavaliers are. I think it's Boston, Milwaukee, and maybe the Knicks. Maybe the Knicks,
Yeah,
but
I mean, I agree with you. The thing with the Knicks is they haven't been healthy in over a month. So it's hard to judge.
That's
Like,
the
when they
thing.
were
It's
healthy,
tough.
they were on fire. But they have
yep.
no OG. Randall's still out. Now Brunson's, questionable, just banged his knee. Like, both trade players that they just got missed a few games. Like, they just can't stay healthy.
Cavs actually came back. By the way, I was I was saying that a couple
Yeah.
minutes. It's a 3 point game now. Yeah, I just caught the score.
Yeah, I saw him down at the half, too. I couldn't believe that it was a 6-point game. Um, but yeah, and the thing with the Bucks, look who's running the Bucks. I can't trust the Bucks with Doc
But
Rivers.
the defense
Man,
has been
that's
better
the
since Doc
shit,
stepped
man.
in.
That's
That's
the
that.
shit. They fucking
But the
went out and
defense
got
has been better. I understand, but the defense has been better since Doc has been there, and we can't deny that. The
I,
offense is still the offense.
I get it. I do. Listen, but diehard basketball guys, man, we're gonna know. And I really am not trying to make a distinction between basketball people and non-basketball people, but like everybody knows, this. It's Doc fucking Rivers, bro. Like they could be up 3-0 in a series, and we don't know. We don't know. Choke artist, bro. Like,
He,
how is
he's
this? How does
famous
he
for it.
still have fucking? How does he still keep getting these jobs? He's got two blown 3-1 leads. Like, and my thing here is, I can't. I'm a Giannis fan, right? Like I really like Giannis. 2 years ago, I was saying Giannis is the best, hands down, best player in the league. There's nobody in this league that can stop him. I still believe he has the best talent, but when Jokic finally winning that championship kind of changes that story. I still think that in a one game tournament, that Giannis can have that 50-point triple double type game and just completely demolish the team. But man, it's tough with the Bucks. And man, Dame, can he show up in these moments? Because the thing with Dame is he's always been that guy that can make those shots down the stretch, but man, now the pressure's actually on him because in Portland he never had the pressure of, hey, you got to go win this thing, right? Like this is your moment. You got to go win this. Now we got to see, is he going to be able to live up to that? Because you asked for out. You asked for out now, and you got what you wanted. Maybe you didn't get Miami, but you got what you wanted. So you got to show up and tell everybody in the league, this is why you're here. Damned the coach. I'm going to do this shit.
No, I mean, I like what they've done. I'm not a Doc fan. Neither of us, none of us are, honestly. But I will give him his flowers when he's flipped the defense around, and that's a plus. They're in the middle of the pack now with defensive rate, defense efficiency, and that's big where they were at before Doc. The offense is the offense, but my issue with them is they are Giannis and Dame. Middleton's not Middleton anymore, and Pat Bev is a defender, and yeah, you got Bobby Portis out there, and you got these other guys like Lopez and all that can ball. But if one of those two if just one are having a bad night, it's that you can't trust Milwaukee because they have to score. I mean, even though the defense has been better, they still have to score, and it's tough because it's Giannis and Dame, and we think LeBron. I mean, to be honest, I'm to the point where I think the Lakers bench or role players might be better than Milwaukee if you actually look at it, just based on what they're asked to do.
I mean, they got the best bench in the league. What are you talking about?
I just don't trust Milwaukee's. Like outside those two, it's hard to trust them this year. And Boston is just so fucking hot, and they're the only team in history to have 3 50-point wins in a season.
Hey, great, all well and great, but you know what? I'm about to fucking hammer these Celtics too. This team reminds me so much of the Dallas Mavericks team that lost to the Warriors in the fucking first round. They just offensively they can just onslaught you, all that, man. But their coaching is just their coaching is just so bad, and you're gonna get into these games where they've got the talent, but they're an injury away too. They got Porzingis, he could go down if Jaylen Brown goes down. Like, man, that bench to me isn't really, their bench isn't that great to me for the Celtics, and I see a team like the Pacers. They can push them. I think the Pacers could push the Celtics because the Celtics aren't particularly a great defensive team in stretches. So I think the Pacers with the experienced coach like Rick Carlisle, a team especially with Halliburton, if he can get going the way that he was earlier in the year before the injury, like they can really push that series. I'm not scared
There's another
about
team.
anybody
There's another team
else.
you're missing too that can
Oh
stop
no,
Boston.
I haven't got there yet because I really honestly, you said that there's two teams in the East, and for me,
I didn't trust to win.
I think that the Heat have to be in there. They're pretty much a very similar situation as I think the Lakers in the West, where they enjoy being in the play-in because you're gonna get a team that's riding high on its coattails going into the playoffs, and they think that in a one game event they can win that game. Spo can make that difference. Spo is that good of a coach that he can make that difference in a one game event. So that's something that I think the Heat are probably the other contenders. We don't like Doc, but I think you got to go with the Bucks. I kind of actually do like the Cavs. I kind of like the Cavs. I think the Cavs may even make it to the conference finals. I mean, it's possible. I'm not saying that they will, but I think that it's possible.
Cavs are actually I know they've been good. Like they were coached a couple of years ago, but Mitchell's actually balling. I didn't realize it until I started looking at him last night, and they are winning right now. By the way, by 2 points, guys, in the fourth, less than 2 minutes left in the game. So, no, I mean Cleveland's balling honestly, and they're big bodies too, and they don't just rely on the bigs; they rely on the guards as well. And it's good to see. I mean, Don Mitchell's a baller too, so he's going to put his team in a spot. But they would have to play probably New York, and that would be a fun matchup. Sixers, I mean, maybe they can make a comeback if Embiid comes back. But, yeah, I mean, that Knicks-Cavs series would be fun. Or actually, no, it wouldn't be the Cavs. It would be the Cavs Magic right now or Cavs Heat, depending on – because they've been flipped back and forth, Orlando and Miami. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I'll tell you, Orlando, they play defense. And I'm not saying they're a piece or two away as well. Yeah. They're young.
Yeah, they're a young team. Yeah. But they're 14
Wagner,
and 18.
I like Wagner.
They're 14 and 18 on the road. They're 21 and 8 at home. So they're going to go into this series, whatever it is, they're going to go into a series being the away team, you know, and so they're probably not going to win that series. But I do think that they play defense. Defense travels well. They can push a team. I kind of see them. They're not that front runners in the same sense that the Thunder are, but I kind of see them in a similar boat of they're young and they have to learn. They have to lose. I think they're more like the Wolves from like last year where you know, they really good defense, but they're not really going to do anything in the playoffs. They go out, they win a play-in game or whatever, and then they end up losing. But I don't think that they're a bad team for anything. But man,
they're just young. They're really young.
They're young.
That's all it is.
Yeah, they're very, very young. But I mean, I'm high on the Celtics. I like them. The Bucks, I can't stand Doc Rivers. I mean, their last 16 games, 14 of them, they've been under on the spread. So obviously the defense has picked up a little bit, but the offense isn't there either. 6-0 since the All-Star break, so I can't count them out, obviously. But Doc Rivers, I'm not feeling it. Cleveland's very, very, very fun to watch. I think they can make some noise. Sixers, no. Magic, no. Magic's not happening.
I think the Magic, though, just like let's just say the Magic don't play in the play and they just win the 6th seed outright. That is a winning. That is a win for the Orlando Magic in the future of Orlando, O-Town. You know, Jake. I mean, me and you know it because you live there at the moment. I'm from the area, and I have family that are Magic fans. I have friends that are Magic fans. Tony took me to a Magic game this year, and it was during the in-season tournament, and it was a fun time. The Magic were playing good. It was against the Raptors, obviously, but it was a fun game, and it was a fun environment. Orlando was packed that night. It was actually packed stadium. So it was good to see Orlando do good. I don't like the Magic, but it was still fun to see. It's kind of reminded me of like the old days. Not the same atmosphere, but it was still fun to see.
They got fake fans, though. When they're not doing good, that stadium's completely empty. They got fake fans. I mean, we all know the Phil Jackson rule, right? The 40 wins before 20 losses. Have you guys heard that?
I've heard it, but I didn't really I don't pay much attention to it now.
So, I mean, since 2010, only 3 teams have not had that and made it to the finals. 2 were LeBron. The other was the 2010 Celtics. But every other team had 40 wins before 20 losses. And the only team in the East right now with that is the Celtics.
Yeah, I mean, and they're a long way away from 20 losses. I mean, they're eight games, and maybe after tonight they're 7. But I mean, it's still I just can't get behind Joe Mazzulla, man. The guy just cannot put together a game plan. Especially the thing is, if we're talking about the Miami Heat against the Boston Celtics in the first round, and
Spo can outcoach him.
Spo can outcoach him, and Jimmy can go out and beat any guy on a team. Like, I don't know. I don't know. It's a tough thing. I think the Pacers could probably push them. I don't think the Pacers would win the series, but I think they could push them. But I think the Heat could actually win that series. I think
Heat are going to the finals, dude. Let's just be honest
with that.
Like, we have him and Butler back there. He's the Dog's a freak. And Vasquez Jr.'s playing good ball. Hero's playing good ball. And you know what's going to happen. Duncan Robinson is going to fucking come in the playoffs and do what he's done the last couple and make shots. And he's not more – last year in the playoffs, he was doing more than shooting threes. He was actually driving. He was actually putting layups in there. Eric Spoelstra is a genius. He knows what he's doing. He's fucking sitting there. He's fucking playing coy. He's playing camouflage out there. He's going to pounce. As soon as April comes, he's going to jump right on Boston. We have Milwaukee's number, and we have Boston's number. Bring them on, boys. Bring on the top 2 seeds. I don't give a shit. Like the shirt says, Boston sucks. And we're going to prove it.
Google, can you order me a Miami Sucks shirt, please?
I bought this outside Yankee Stadium when this is for the Red Sox, but I mean it fits. I don't like both teams. I mean I'm high on the Celtics though. I mean I the question is like, we got asked by your brother Alan who can stop the Celtics, and I mean the question I said the answer was the Nuggets. I mean it's the West Coast. Whoever in the West Coast wins it, that's maybe the only team.
Yeah, we'll see. They play later this week too, Celtics and Nuggets, and that'll be a big game. But I think that the Heat can do it, and I do think that the Bucks, if they play defense the way that they've been playing, I think the Bucks could do it too. But here's the thing: Bucks go up 3-1 in the playoffs against the Celtics. I don't know, man. Like that's not a good look. All right,
just put all your money on it. Put all your money on Boston.
His former team, the last time the Celtics won the titles with Doc, and you blow it against your former team, that would be awesome.
But I mean, hey, what a redemption story if Doc comes back and like beats the Celtics when they're like this crazy team, 40 wins before 20 losses.
Yeah.
And then Doc just somehow randomly the most losing coach of freaking being a great team, and he comes in and he just beats them. I don't know, man. Joe Mazzulla, I really feel like no matter what coach, unless it's like the Orlando coach, what's his name, Shaq, I think other than him, I think that the Celtics are at a disadvantage against every other coach in the Eastern Conference. I think that
Doc Rivers.
Dude, I think Doc Rivers is a better coach than Mazzulla.
I know.
You think the Magic?
Mazzulla just lets him go jack up shots. He's like, just shoot.
He's just
like,
hey,
now they're falling. But
who's the Magic coach?
Vaughn, I think.
Okay.
But I think that who's the coach for the Sixers now? What is his name?
Oh God, dude, I can't. They've been so many coaches recently. It's
no,
hard to
but
keep
he's
Sixers, to be honest.
he's one of the best coaches in the league. Nick Nurse, he's one of the best coaches in the league. I think that
they did him dirty in Toronto.
Yeah, they did.
In the Knicks, Tom Thibodeau. I think that Tom Thibodeau is a better coach than Joe Mazzulla. For the Cavs, I think their coach is better. Definitely Spo's the best coach in the league. Nick Carlisle, I think he's the best coach. Yeah, Spo is the best coach in the league. There's hands down. There's no question anymore.
I think he is. The only problem with Spoelstra to me, I don't have a problem with him obviously, but the only thing to get that claim and keep it, he's got to win a title without LeBron and D Wade. Just win one. I mean, because it's always going to be in the back of everyone's mind. Like, did you only win because of them? Yeah, you've been consistent since then, but you've been to 2 finals. You lost both of them. One was the bubble year, and then last year against the Nuggets. So he's got to win one. He still has to. And I agree. I agree with that. That's my thing too. I agree he's one of the best coaches in the league. But I know there's a lot of naysayers out there that say he's got to win one without LeBron and D Wade and Bosh.
Yeah, I would say that could be said about a lot of coaches if they didn't have these stars.
Exactly.
I agree. I agree with you. I'm just saying I've heard it. So,
I mean, what's Greg Popovich done since his legends are gone?
Yeah,
but Pop also did it. But Pop also
he's not a good coach.
Yeah,
but I'm just saying
the only difference
about anybody.
The only difference though with Pop and Spoelstra, there's nothing. I don't mind how Spoelstra did it. Pop did build within.
Absolutely.
I mean, he drafted excellent. He made guys like Ginobili and Parker probably had no business being stars that they were being good.
Would you still say would he have those rings without Tim Duncan?
Yeah, but
it
here's
still
the
could be
thing.
said.
I
Like you
agree.
could say
I
that he
agree.
built within, but he's still Tim Duncan is still one of the, if not the best power forward the league has ever seen. Mr.
Yeah, I
Fundamental.
agree.
Like, I mean, that is a generational player. You're supposed to win with that guy, regardless of how you did the rest of the guys and you drafted well and you did this or whatever. You still had one of the most generationally best players the league has ever seen. And Spo is making it to the finals with Jimmy Butler, a guy who has a short wingspan. And in this league where
Not a good
everybody's
shooter
big
neither.
and
Not a
everybody's
good shooter.
taller than you, and Jimmy Butler outworks everybody around him, and they're making it to the finals with Jimmy Butler. Like
Yeah,
that's a big deal, and that's a big difference. He's got guys
absolutely.
like
Undersized center too. We got Bam Bam playing center, who's like what 6'9", 6'10".
I mean,
I mean,
that's
very
it's
undersized. And that's
it's
why we also lost the Nuggets because Bam couldn't keep up with Joe. He's athletic to keep up with him, but he's not big enough to
it's
keep
it's
up
kind
with
of
him.
it's kind of the league. I mean, and name a
Oh
player
yeah, I
in the
agree.
league that is as big as Jokic right now. Like
Well,
there's
size
not even
wise or height,
anybody.
size or height.
All of it combined. Like there's no guy in the league that's
Jokic
that guy.
combined. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because you have Victor who's tall but he's scrawny, and then
Yeah,
yeah, I mean yeah,
no.
no, I agree with you. No, I agree with you. I mean, Giannis is as tall or looks as tall as him and fucking jacked, but he ain't stopping fucking Joker in the paint.
Man, I
Like he,
would love.
What if
I'm
Phil
just
Jackson
saying, but
didn't have his
dude, what I
well, he
or,
did
would
two.
or
Well, he did two. He did with
Kobe,
two different dynasties, but yeah.
two of the greatest players of all time?
two of the greatest players of all time. I mean, that's
Well,
kind
hey,
of
three of the greatest
you gotta
players.
lucky with
Don't
that.
three of the greatest. You had Shaq too. Don't forget Shaq. Shaq's probably
But
arguably
I'm
top 10,
saying
top 15.
it could be. I
Yeah.
mean, that roster that Spo. I mean, I got all respect in the world for him now. That rosters that he took to the finals had no business being there.
And where he's starting his career too. That's the thing. Where he's starting his career to where he's at
Worked his
now.
way
Like,
up. Mad
all
respect.
but
But
no, I think yeah, the East Coast. I just maybe a few teams, boys. That's all. Maybe 3 or 4 teams that have a shot.
what I would really love to see is two different finals variations, and both of them involve the Bucks. And one would be the Bucks versus the Nuggets, because over the last couple of years, it's been all right. Is this Giannis's league? Did LeBron pass the torch to Giannis, and now he came in, he won that series against the Suns, and I mean he completely dominated the way he won that last game, 50 points, and just completely dominated. And then you've got Jokic, who's obviously been dominating the analytics. And then last year coming in, and they said he needed to win a finals, and he needed to win a finals MVP, and he went out and he did that. And so now that would be like the ultimate clash of this generation's like most unstoppable players. I think that would be a great finals to watch. And then the other finals that I would like to see is Giannis against the Lakers. I would love to see the Bucks going up against the Lakers. LeBron James, and is this LeBron's last hurrah? Does Giannis snatch that title from him and completely, and just send him off into the sunset? LeBron feels like he's going to play for a couple more years, but I do see. I think that would be an amazing finals.
Well, speaking of LeBron, he just reached 40K. 21st season in the league. I mean, like I know what Skip is saying on his show. Yes, longevity, but it's still like it's not like it's just longevity. I mean, he's a fucking freak. I know people don't like him. Some people love him. Some people don't like him. But you gotta respect his game, the way he can score at any will. I mean, he's a facilitator as well. He's not supposed to be a scorer, but he's a fucking historical great when it comes to putting the ball in the bucket. So I'll give LeBron his flowers. 40K. He'll probably get to 42 or 43K by the time he retires, to be honest. So
The
just
thing
shout out.
about go ahead, Jake.
I was gonna say absolutely. I mean, I agree. I'm 37. I played a little basketball today. I had about 3.5 heart attacks. So I mean, he's doing it at 39 years old. I mean, it's mad respect. Absolutely. I mean,
Yeah.
he's still leading the league, and he's 39 years old. I mean,
Just
He's
to
still
talk
the
about
face.
the longevity though argument, like people say, oh yeah, he's played for 21 years. Just to put into perspective how hard it is to score 40,000 points, you would have to average 26 points for 20 seasons and play 72 games every out of all of those seasons. that is what you would have to do in order to make 40K. So, like, that's not just a longevity thing. You can get guys that can play 20 years, right? And
Yes.
we're probably going to see that more now because of the way that technology is and the way conditioning is, the way these guys eat, the way these guys take care of their bodies, all that stuff, the way they work out. We're going to see that a little bit more. But you've got to average 26 points from the beginning of that to the end of that in order to get to 40,000. It's just not something that's going to happen. I don't think we're going to see that again because look at LeBron's career. Like, I'm not a LeBron guy. Like, I'm a Lakers fan, but I'm a diehard Kobe guy. And when LeBron came into the league, the Kobe people just vehemently hated LeBron because they already wanted to annoy him. They already wanted to give him the crown, and they skipped over Kobe, and it was Kobe's time, right? But at the same time, you have to respect it. It's kind of the same argument that I have for Tom Brady, even though I am a Tom Brady guy and I'm a Patriots guy. But eventually, you reach the point where the argument, there just is no more argument, that the stats are there and the championships are there and the accolades are there and all of these things are there, and it makes it so hard you just can't even argue anymore. So you have to say that this player is great. And this 40,000 thing is a super big deal. I honestly don't believe that even with the trajectory of the league where teams are scoring at a crazy rate, I don't think we're going to see many people get to this 40,000. If anyone else.
And like I said, if it was easy, guys be playing 21 years all their careers. MJ couldn't do it. I mean, Kobe played 20 seasons, but they weren't healthy 20 seasons.
They weren't, no.
Yes, like the tail end of his career, I think he missed like two or three injuries there that ruined some of his seasons. But if it was so easy, people would be doing it all the time. And same thing with Brady. I mean, yeah, you have kickers playing 20-plus years, but not quarterbacks. I mean, so like guys like Brady and LeBron that are doing that. And I'll give Brady his flowers too. Like, yeah, the fact that he played 23 years in the NFL, I respect that. Like, I know I had my issues with him on the field, tired of seeing him winning, but I have to give him his respect too, just like LeBron. I mean, you can hate him or love him, but you got to respect what he's done for the game. And 40,000 points plus all the assists too, that is where it's special. It's not just points.
Yeah, so. And I'm the biggest LeBron hater there is, but I mean, and it's not, like Alan said, it's not just the longevity. Like, it's the numbers that he's still putting up. Like, I gave you the numbers since the All-Star break. Like, I mean, he's outscored a team in the fourth quarter 16 times by himself. Like, the next closest is 7. He's done it 16 times that he single-handedly outscored a team in the fourth quarter. Like, the numbers are just, I mean, it's not just how long he's played. I mean, the next even ballpark, I mean, Luka's 25. He's almost at 11,000 points. But I don't see him going until 40 and not even close. So he's not, I mean, I don't even see him getting that number again. Like you said, you have to average over 20 points.
Yeah, I mean, and a lot of people, we heard a lot about Brady's, diet and, the avocado ice cream and the no drinking beer during the season and all this, this discipline that he had to have. Not enough people talk about LeBron and his regimen, his workout, his dieting, the things he does to take care of his body.
That chamber machine, all that stuff.
Man, all that stuff that this guy does to keep himself
in this. $1 million a year on his body.
And why not? He's got the money,
He's got the money.
I agree.
That's just it's crazy to see that. And I think another guy that is very similar to that is Steph Curry. And I think that's why we can see Steph Curry still playing at such a high level at an older age, even with as much running that he does, because Curry still is one of the most active players on the court, and his game has not changed, and it's not going to change. It's a part of how he plays. And you can see his conditioning, his taking care of his body, the workout, and all the things that he does to keep himself at that higher echelon.
Of course he eats good. I mean, he's got the best cook as a wife. I mean, Aisha Curry, best chef out there. Yeah, she's the best. Okay. She's Chef Emerald, female version. She's a beast, dude. I mean, come on.
Of course he's eating kids. Good. He's got the 4th kid on the way.
Yeah, I saw that. Congrats to Steph. Yeah, Steph's out here about to get as many kids. He's got rings, man.
Hey,
he's not done winning rings. So might as well pop some more kids out.
I
Man,
I
I got.
refused.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, man, I refused to download TikTok for so long, and then you got me on
Al's
there with
hooked,
this
yeah.
podcast.
Yeah, he's
And
hooked.
the only thing that I see on TikTok is this fucking food. All right, and there's so many good
Dude,
food recipes out there.
I saved so much stuff. I saved a biscuit gravy casserole that I found before I left Washington State. I made it for my office, and they were like, "Holy shit!" I was like, "Yes, this is fucking fire." I've
All
saved
I'm
so many.
saying is, I've
God,
never seen an Aisha Curry fucking TikTok on
oh,
food. All
oh.
right, get that out of here. All right.
That was before TikTok was getting. That was before TikTok. That was like back when Instagram Reels was taking off. But let's move on real quick. We have a couple minutes. Basketball, hey
I got.
boys, great shit.
I
What was
got
that,
one
Jake?
last shout out. One
Oh,
last
sorry.
shout out.
No, you're good. You're good.
My boy Isaiah Thomas is back in the G League with the Jazz. Come on, let's get the man on the roster.
Hey, get him
Oh
on the
my God,
roster.
he's still
He
playing.
can make a.
He just
can make a
signed.
team.
Just signed with the G League today.
Well, you said Patty Mills signed with the Miami Heat. Let's give him a shout out too. Yeah, Patty Mills, former champion in the league. You know, beat us, but helped beat us with Kawhi. But no, yeah, let's give our one last thing. Great episode with basketball, boys. Like I said, God, like it makes me want to start watching basketball every single day again. You know, back when I used to do it, it's hard nowadays for me to watch. I prioritize. I fucking schedule things that are more important to me. And it's hard. So it's like baseball. It's hard for me to watch every single bit. Football's easier because it's only so much during the week. But speaking of football, we had some franchise tags come out today, and man, oh man, I know Jake was pissed. Jalen Johnson got tagged. Brian Burns got tagged. We already knew Snead was tagged. You had Winfield. I was upset about Winfield because I want to get him out of the division. Matt Abuke got tagged, and Mike Evans signed. So, yeah. So, what's the biggest tag y'all think? Like, what was the biggest one for this so far? This deadline.
I mean, Snead's a big one, but they're talking about trading him. So I don't know.
It's big for pieces if you trade him. I think Pittman, just because the Colts need weapons. So now maybe you can go to corner in the draft or corner in the free agency. You have him with Josh Downs, and you can maybe go receiver. You flip it. They go receiver in the second round. Get AR, another guy with Michael Pittman, because we haven't seen AR really play yet with Pittman. He had a couple. Yeah, I think the first week of the season he was pretty good with him. But I think Pittman going back to the Colts, I think that's huge. I really do.
Yeah, I think I'm probably going to lean on the defensive side here. I think that Jalen Johnson is a big one, and I think that they tagged him with the intent of working out a deal and keeping him. That defense really came on super strong last year. You go out and you overhaul your offense. You get you go into the draft. You get Caleb Williams, maybe Daniels, whatever everybody's saying. You go out, you get Caleb Williams, and maybe take another wide receiver, maybe tight end. I'm just throwing that out there. But you do some good things on that offense, but you just bring back and solidify the defense that you had. And I think that Jalen Johnson is that big piece to be able to do it. But the other guy that I would say is probably a big deal is Matabuke. Bringing him, I didn't think that he was going to stay. I thought Ravens really weren't going to be able to work the cap to be able to do it. But like you guys always say, salary cap's a joke. Doesn't fucking matter. So
it'll eventually bite you in the ass. It's just when's it going to happen? You can manipulate it as long as you can until you realize it's going to be like the Rams didn't think they were. I mean, we didn't think the Rams were going to be good, but they found young pieces that worked out. Their youngsters balled out. Otherwise, they were going to be a shit show.
Yeah,
because of cap.
Yeah, and I think that the CBA really does have a big deal with that, especially when it comes to rookies. I think the Rams kind of figured out that you have just as much a chance to hit in the later rounds as you do in the first couple of rounds. So getting that talent guy doesn't always mean that he's gonna be an impact player. So maybe leverage those out and go get known guys to put onto your team, and then you can rebuild with some of those guys that that we see that they have on their team now. Some of those young guys that they've developed and brought in to make impact plays. And it's tough though, because for a little bit there, the league was kind of going into this stretch where it's kind of like the Rams, where teams are just kind of trading away their draft capital and all that shit. Mm-hmm. But then you see teams kind of backscale on that, and we're going back into these heavy draft, draft picks and draft capital and all that stuff. So
Yeah, trading doesn't normally work. The Rams were one of the rare gyms that have made it work. You've seen Miami try it now with Tyreek and Bradley Chubb. It's not working. I mean, the Rams just found it, and Sean McVay pulled it off, and it worked. Now I don't know if they go back to that anytime soon, but no, yeah, it's just some big tags. I just wanted to hit that before we saw, because we're going to be doing official free agency predictions this week. So I know we did what teams would be fits for with players, but now we're actually going to make our predictions. Where some of these top 20, top 25 players going to go? Obviously, we cannot get all 100, 200 of these guys, but we're going to hit the top handful.
Yeah,
like the Chris Jones is, and the Josh.
what
Josh
I'm
Allen,
interested in.
Did Josh Allen get tagged?
Yes, he did. Yeah, he got tagged. What I'm interested, who did the Vikings tag? Did they tag Hunter?
No.
Well, not everyone tags. That's the thing. Not everyone uses a tag.
So, and that's what I'm saying is I don't think that they did that. I do think that kind of opens the door for them in their position. If one of those edge guys drops to them, I think that maybe they could go edge in the first round.
Yeah, well, we'll see. Like I said, either tomorrow or the next day, we're going to be dropping these predictions. I can't wait because free agency starts next week, and
that'll be a fun episode for sure.
Yes, it's gonna be fun to see where we think. Teaser: Christian Wilkins going to the Detroit Lions. That's my prediction. But I can't wait. Ridley's he's a name out there. He started off pretty good in the preseason and the regular season, then all of a sudden, I think it was a Jacksonville thing. I don't think it was Ridley. I have Ridley on some of my fantasy teams, and I was watching Ridley a lot, and they weren't looking his way. Don't know what happened. I don't know what was going on there, but yeah, that's a big name, and we're gonna talk about it, boys. So, but great episode, Jake. Alan, way to be official members. We're glad to get you on this contract. 2 year, you guys are locked in. Can't go nowhere. And you guys do. It's a no compete. So glad to have y'all locked in with us, man. It's good to have 2 more members now, making it 6 members of this podcast. So,
oh yeah, absolutely. Super excited.
Got some compliments too. They said Alan brings out some. My boy CJ said that Alan brings out some debates. He pushes the needle essentially, and it's good to have. He likes to a lot of people like the back and forth. It's good to debate, healthy debates, good educational debates, but good to have differences. If you come with fucking fire and someone else has fire too, you agree, disagree, and then move on, but it's good to hear each other's arguments. So that's what we're all about on this show. But that's Jake Winnikine. That's Alan Tomasello. I'm Mark Davis. This is All About the Balls podcast, and we are out.
Thank you for checking out another episode of All About the Balls podcast. We want to thank all of our listeners and supporters of the Sack House. You can listen to the show on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. And don't forget to subscribe and give us a follow on Twitter and Instagram at The Sack House.